Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Cron King here again, and I'm doing my final ranking of the champions of Paladins. So today we're doing the damage ranking of all the champions, and again, this is always just my personal opinion based on how much damage they can do and how well they are. But you're also going to see there is some of my opinion in there on the rankings of some of these champions. So let's get right into it. So coming in at last place is at number 11 is
Kinessa.
Kinessa. And the snipers aren't really the best way to be a damage champion in Paladins because they kind of struggle to put out a lot of damage to a lot of people, and accuracy is a big part of that. Like, if you can hit your target a lot, then you'll do well with snipers, but you still won't be able to put out as much damage as you'd really expect because once they know you have a sniper, often the team will just flank around. They won't just sit out in the open and let you mow them down with a sniper. Also, I don't think that they have enough escape really. Kinessa has her transporter, which lets you teleport to a location, and then I've heard word of in OB64 that they're supposed to add in our legendary card that makes her teleporting instantly. And then I heard she's kind of OP. People don't even use the sniper when she can teleport instantly. They just use her carbine mode. So that might be a little bit different. But as of right now, I'm just talking about OB63, what we have, or I have right now, what everybody has, and just basing it off that. So, what is this loadout? Oh, that's just a kind of screwy loadout I have. A bunch of octopressor mines or oppressor mines. It just let you slow them down a bunch and then shoot them with a rifle and you just do a bunch of damage. So that's why Kinessa comes in at number 11. Number 10, here's what I'm talking about, being personal opinion. A lot of you probably disagree with me, but I stand by it. Victor is one of my least favorite champions in Paladins. Not for any particular reason. Like, he's not hard to use or anything. Like, he's really simple to pick up. But I just feel like if I want to use a person that has iron sights and just run around, I'll just go pop in Call of Duty or a game similar to that and just play that instead of playing Paladins. I like playing as different champions of Paladins that have different stuff to do. Like, people that use the hip fire, they just will run around and just shoot it, and it's just stupid. I don't even like playing as Victor. There's my loadout for Victor that I run usually. If I play him, like I said, I don't really like playing him. But another thing is, yeah, Victor can do a lot of damage to a single target, but he can't really put out a lot of damage to other targets. Like, all he has is his grenade, and his grenade only does 750 damage. That's like it lands right by you. Like, you can get hit by it a little bit away. Oh, take increased damage. I never read that. But he basically just runs in, shoots a little bit, runs back out like a little coward. I don't like Victor for it. It's just my personal opinion. Like I said, a lot of you might really enjoy Victor and like playing as Victor, but I kind of see him as like a no-skill champion. I don't really like playing as him, so that's why Victor is number 10. Number 9 is Strix. And like I said, I like playing as Strix, but the snipers do really struggle on here, in my opinion, because Strix has it better. Like, he can use his stealth mode to get out of battles sometimes, and his semi-auto pistol is really powerful, but like I said, when you know you're a sniper, they just will kind of avoid that, and you kind of flank around, and if a flank troop gets to you, then you're kind of screwed. You can't really do a whole lot about it. And then his ultimate, his flashbang, I don't really think it's that useful. Like, Maeve's Midnight lets you separate your enemy team a lot better. Flashbang doesn't quite do it as much. Like, you get flashbanged and you can still kind of see and you kind of know what's going on. You're just a little disoriented. So I don't really think it's that big of a deal. So that's why Strix comes at number 9. Another one of my personal opinions is Bomb King. Now, the reason Bomb King is this low on the list, I'm not denying Bomb King can do a lot of damage, but in my personal ranking, I can't. It's weird. I'm weirdly terrible with Bomb King. And people were like, what? How do you be bad with Bomb King? You just throw the bombs and detonate them. I don't know. My accuracy's not that bad. I can use other champions that require good accuracy and precision, but can't use Bomb King for whatever reason. Bomb King just is an elusive character for me, and I can't really use him that well. That is the loadout I run. I'm not sure if that's the best one to run. Also, I'm aware I probably should have the Accelerant legendary card. It's a lot better one than Chain Reaction, but I just haven't really got the hang of Bomb King still, and that's why Bomb King's this low. So, number 7, I have Cassie, and I'm not really sure how Cassie plays anymore, because this is the load I used to run, and as you can see, it has a lot of dodge roll stuff, and then they nerfed Cassie's exaction down from 40% to 30% in the last update, and then I haven't really got to play around with her yet with either of the new legendary cards, so I'm not really sure how good Cassie is anymore. She could be one of the best damage champions, and I just don't know about it, like I said, because I haven't played as Cassie in a while. But I still think Cassie was always kind of a mid-range damage one. She is a good champion to avoid damage with her dodge roll and then put out a lot of damage in turn. You can do a lot of damage from the back line or the front line, wherever you want to be. And you can move your enemies with disengage, and you could do some area damage with blast shot, but Cassie's just kind of a in-between champion for me. She's not the highest highest damage output champion, but she's also not the lowest. So she kind of deserves a spot in the middle, in my opinion. So coming in at number 6 is Tyra. Now, I like, again, Tyra's kind of similar to Victor. I don't really like playing as Tyra that much because she's just kind of simple, and I just kind of like playing with new champions and getting used to them that are kind of difficult to play, just like being different than everybody else. Both of these, all three of Tyra's legendary cards are honestly pretty good. But why Tyra has an edge over Victor, in my opinion, is she's not just a like one or two dimensional character. She has her grenade launcher, and she has her hunter's mark, which is marks enemies and they get more damage from you, and the reveal grenade launcher and firebomb do area damage. And like I said with Victor can't really do that area damage that Tyra can, and that's why Tyra's ranked higher, because Tyra can take down frontliners a lot easier than Victor, and that's kind of what damage champions are supposed to do. They're supposed to kill the frontliners, supposed to put out a lot of damage and keep the enemies just kind of back and unable to get on the point. So that's why Tyra comes in at number 6. Number 5 is Willo. Now, again, Willow's a champion. They got nerfed. They nerfed her flutter. It's not nearly as far as it used to be, but I've still played a couple matches with her, and she doesn't really seem that much worse to me. She still seems to be a very effective champion. She can put out a lot of damage. I usually run the Blast Flower legendary card because you get another 100 damage, and eventually, after 3 hits on enemy, you'll have 800 damage every time. That's crazy because her wand shoots every 3/4 of a second. So you can put out a lot of damage really quickly with Willo. And I mean, she still has an escape. She has flutter. She stops all healing basically in an area with her dead zone, and her seedling can move people off the point, or if they don't move, they'll basically die. Willo is still a very viable champion, and I think people have her underrated because of her reduction in flutter, and they just think she's bad now that she can't move as much, but they're wrong, I think. She's still very powerful and can still put out a lot of damage. So that's number 5. Number 4 is Leon. Now, I used the Alacrity legendary card. For a while I said All Clarity, and I kind of felt dumb when I realized that it wasn't how you say it. I use this legendary card, or this loadout, not legendary card, It has a little bit of everything. It reduces cooldowns for Valor and Presence, and you hit enemies. Eliminations reduce cooldowns, and then just the other ones are just some stuff with the Grace, which is your slide. And Leon's pretty simple to pick up because 2 out of her 3 abilities, when you run the legendary card I do, are basically just aimbot. If you can see your enemies, you'll hit them. You just kind of spam your abilities, but she's not. You still can be better with her if you don't miss your shots from your heirloom rifle, and if you can actually line up your shots from your presence and hit enemies through each other, because you can go through all of your enemies and do 800 damage to each one of them on top of all your abilities stacked up, and Leon can put out a lot of damage quickly. Her Grace also lets her, like I said, escape. That's why I have the length increase. You can get out of a fight with or back up from a flanker from a little bit, so they're not putting as much damage out right in your face, and then you can kind of burst them down with your abilities. So, number 4, Leon. Number 3 is Drogoz. So Drogoz can put out a lot of damage to the well, copy that one. That's not the one I run anyways, though. I usually run this one. Yeah, that's the one I run. But Drogoz can put out a lot of damage to the enemy front line. He can also do a lot of damage to just about anybody that's close enough to really take on Drogoz. And kind of a risky move to go up against Drogoz because he has that thrust ability where he can just jump up above you and you just move around quickly and you'll have problems hitting him most of the time. And then he can still just put out an insane amount of damage back down onto you. His Fire Spit, if you like to run the combustible legendary card, also knocks back all enemies that are hit by Fire Spit. The Worm Jets people run unless you move up faster and move around quickly to get higher up and escape and get better vantage points. Just rain down a barrage of salvo or your rocket launchers, whichever. And then another reason is his ultimate instantly kills an enemy unless they are doing something like Fernando's ult or Zin's counter, which is stupid and that needs to be changed. Zin's counter should not be able to block legendaries. I think it's just absolutely stupid and it should not be in the game at all. That shouldn't happen. So that's why Drogoz is number 3. Number 2, I did not want to give it to Vivian, but it's hard to deny that Vivian is not a very strong damage champion, and she can just spam out an insane amount of damage to enemy champions. Here's the loadout I run, and then you'll see, like, it's titled Infinite Ammo. You can basically go a whole match and reload like once or twice. You don't really have to worry about reloading hardly at all, and she can just put out insane amount of damage because of it. She has a shield, so flankers try to come around and get her, and she can just put out that damage to kill them before they kill her because she's protected by her shield. She has sensor drones to detect enemies, and then her ultimate is really ridiculous, I think. It's out the whole time until you kill it or until you kill her, and it just lets her do another 200 damage from each one. So you can do 400 plus your regular gun, another 200, and you can just do 600 basically. Well, that's 200 per 14. It's like 1200 damage plus, it's like 1600 damage every second from Vivian when she has her ultimate. That is a ridiculous amount of damage. It's just insane. Should not be that long. I think something that would make her ultimate less overpowered would be to not let it refill while she has it active. Kind of similar to SHALIN's Withdraw. How it doesn't recharge until you come out of cloak, and I think that would make her a little bit more balanced and a little bit less just overpowering and just destructive with all of her abilities. So that's why Vivian comes in at number 2. And number 1, one of my favorite champions, and also, like I said, I think, in my opinion, the best damage champion still is SHALIN. SHALIN is very good at putting out a lot of damage. He has 1,000 damage every draw from his bow. His impaler arrow can stun enemies. And so when you're battling a flank, if a flank comes around and you're playing a SHALIN, you can just pin them to the wall, drop down into planted, and you'll kill them before they even have a chance to hit you one time. Every time. SHALIN is just a destructive force. Like, you don't really have to worry about flankers, like I said, because SHALIN can handle them so easily. One of the weaknesses of the other champions, like I said, Vivian can be killed by flankers kind of easily because she doesn't have an escape. She has her shield, but if there's a couple other flankers, they can break down your shield pretty quickly. SHALIN has that withdraw. He can get out of there, and your enemy won't see you, and then you can just pop out, pin them to the wall, use planted, and they're dead. You killed all of them that came to kill you before they had a chance to even react what happened. His planted also just annihilates frontliners. Frontliners don't really stand a chance against SHALIN. And I think that is a large part of the reason why SHALIN is one of the most used champions by the pros, because they recognize his potential and how good he is. A lot of people at lower levels don't really use SHALIN because they don't really know how to use him and they're unsure of his abilities, so they just stray away from SHALIN. But I can tell you, if you put in some time and get used to playing a SHALIN, he will be a very rewarding champion to use, and you'll be impressed by how much damage he can actually put out. So there's my ranking. Like I said, it's just my opinion. If you guys agree, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you're not already. If you agree, leave a comment. If you disagree, leave what you would change in your personal opinion. And I'll be sure to read them, because I read all my comments that I get. And I want to say sorry for not uploading as much as usual, because I've had exam weeks in college and a lot of homework leading up to them, so I've been kind of busy just doing stuff like that. But my my uploading schedule should return to pretty normal now because they're done, and I'll be putting up videos more often because I can. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.